essentially the long-term fundamentals of the lithium market are rock solid. There will be a material supply deficit in the back end of the decade. And yeah, clearly there's some short-term softness at the moment in the market. This is on the back of high prices in 2022, which brought a lot of new production into the market. The mainstream press have sort of confused the current oversupply with demand destruction. That's just not the case. There's going to be 20 to 30% growth this year in lithium demand, and double-digit growth, through the rest of the decade. And then if you overlay that with the current prices are well below incentive prices, major players like Albemarle, their view is that we need $20 plus per kilo of lithium chemicals. The current price is around 13 to really justify that additional production. And so we're really laying the seeds of the next bull market, in this period where there isn't the incentive to invest new supply, and we've got CAGR in the double digits. So we're excited about it, and our project's well timed to capture this in the second half of the decade. Our studies are progressing really well. We announced as part of our capital raise on the 4th of July a bunch of value opportunities that we're going to incorporate into our PFS, and that's really been on the back of our exceptional results from our test work as well as our initial mine planning work, which recognised the ability to run a high-grade schedule for multi-decades and potentially reducing the operating cost and capital intensity. So we're really excited about that. And we're rejigging the PFS over the next couple of months to include that. We're working with Fluor, obviously, one of the few groups that have got deep experience with the lithium clay style deposits, having worked across Ioneer's Rhyolite Ridge and Lithium America's Thacker Pass. And we expect, there's going to be a number of really major milestones in the second half of the year alongside the PFS delivery. We're working on producing lithium carbonate, battery-grade lithium carbonate from our testing facility in Colorado. And that'll be a really major technical milestone. We've then tested the entire flow sheet and de-risked it. Also coming up, we've been working hard on our engagement with our local communities and expect some tribal agreements in the next couple of months. And we're also advanced in discussions with US government agencies, both from a technical cooperation point of view, but also grant funding potential. And we hope to sort of have a notification one way or the other on those grant funding applications in the second half of this year. So really exciting 6 months ahead. And with this funding we announced on the 4th of July, we've now got a new US institutional investor that's supporting the company. They've really come on board on the recognition of this really big value mismatch between our current market value and the strategic value of our assets, and with the view to support us through the next stage of work to realise value. So we're really excited. We've really benefited from the work that Lithium Americas have done. We've used their flow sheet as a starting point to the PFS, and we're fortunate because they've had to spend a lot more time in the divergent thinking, looking at different options on processing these sedimentary lithium deposits. We've been able to leverage that work and go straight into a test work program for our PFS. And we're well placed because our deposit has the grade that'll work with this sort of flow sheet, as opposed to some of our lower grade peers that require more innovative DLE technologies. Lithium Americas have really helped de-risk it from a technical point that I mentioned, but also from a market education point of view. Their flow sheets now have been through due diligence with the Department of Energy. They've also run an extensive partnership process where General Motors came on board as their major shareholder. So really, they've helped educate the market, and we'll be the beneficiaries of that. There will be no doubt that we can make additional improvements to the flow sheet that reflect the subtle differences of our deposit versus Thacker Pass, and we'll continue to work on that and highlight those as part of the PFS. But now we have a good baseline understanding of the metallurgy. We've got good extraction rates, and we've got a really solid basis for our PFS. And I think the last point, one of the reasons we've been really able to capture some of these learnings is through Fluor, who, like I mentioned, have brought that experience from those peers and have really given us a competitive edge, and enabling us to advance the project swiftly.